Hello again. It's been about 60 days now since I started using the Huawei MateBook Pro running HarmonyOS NEXT, HarmonyOS 5. And in this video I want to share what it's really like using this one daily and whether I still recommend it after living with it. I bought this laptop for around 10,000 RMB, but with the government subsidy I only paid about 8,000. I've used it pretty much every day since, for browsing, editing videos, watching YouTube, and syncing with my phone. So here is the good, the bad, and everything in between. Let's go. Let's start with the build quality and the hardware. So first of all, I love the weight. It's about 930 or 960 grams, very easy to travel with, but still feels premium. The keyboard is fantastic. It's very snappy, responsive, and one of the nicest laptop keyboards I've used. I always seem to forget this is a touchscreen, and when I remember, it's surprisingly useful. I have the paper matte edition, and the screen feels really nice, and it doesn't get any fingerprints on this paper matte. And then we of course have the privacy button, which I really like. You can instantly disable the mic, camera, and the location service. That gives me peace of mind. I'm a little bit paranoid sometimes, so that's really nice. But of course it's not perfect. I wish it had an extra USB Type-C port, or even maybe a HDMI. There's only 3 ports, and I think adding just one would go a long way. And also the outer shell here, it picks up a lot of fingerprints really easily. So I've come up with a fix. I'm gonna use stickers. 10 years ago I used to be a digital nomad, and I traveled a bit and wrote code. And I used to personalize my laptop back then. It was an Asus, by putting stickers from different countries I've been in. So I thought I'm gonna do the same. That Asus was one of my favorite laptops, so I thought I'd give this the same treatment and stick some cool stickers on it. So thus far it's been to China and Kazakhstan. Now let's talk about the software experience. So the default browser is not great, but I switched to HiTi browser, which is a Chromium-based browser, which support extensions, and I think it works really well. When it comes to video editing, I use CapCut, the Chinese version. I usually film on my phone, then transfer footage via Huawei Share, and then I can edit straight on laptops. No cables, no mess. So usually I edit on the desktop, but sometimes I started to edit on the laptop as well. And WeChat, it's working really smoothly. So when it comes to files and connectivity, initially, there was an issue with connecting to my Huawei NAS. The computer didn't support network drives out of the box, and that was really frustrating. But they fixed that in an update pretty quick, I would say within 2 weeks. So now I can access my NAS and my network drives, which is, it should be, of course, a no-brainer. Of course, it has to be there. Another thing is the file sharing with Huawei Share. I think it's amazing. It's fast, simple, and reliable. I use it all the time to share photos and files across the phone, the PC, and the tablet. And also, I share a lot of photos with my wife, for example. She asked me to take a photo, and then I just Huawei Share to her. So that's maybe not related to the laptop in that sense, but the Huawei Share is a really nice feature and works really well. And it's very fast to transfer files. So, thumbs up. Of course, you can also use the Huawei Cloud, but I feel like it's faster to just share them over Huawei Share than to upload to cloud and then download it to the device that it needs it. So let's discuss some limitations. Let's be honest, the HarmonyOS still has some rough edges. We know that app support is not great at the moment. I am not worried about that. I think there will be apps soon, and it's coming. I know a lot of people are building. One thing that I don't like is that window tiling is bad. You can only now split left and right. You have no advanced layouts, no keyboard shortcuts for tiling, no fancy zone like Windows has with Power Toys. So I think this is something that if Huawei could improve, this would seriously boost productivity. Language support needs improving. There is still no proper Swedish keyboard that I want. It's not a huge deal, but sometimes when I write messages, it is really annoying to not be able to write all of the characters. So more language support is definitely needed. And then there is video player support is also quite weak. I tested most of the video players. They work fine, but I haven't found one I really like VLC. If you have a good video player and want to make a recommendation, please drop it in the comments. If you have any suggestion, down below. So what about the synergy and the ecosystem? Some things I love about the HarmonyOS synergy. So using my phone as extended screen is awesome. I usually have YouTube on my laptop and Twitter on extended screen on my phone. It's really nice, especially in the night. I can use the mouse to browse on my phone, and I can watch YouTube on my computer. And then, as I said, Huawei share between devices so smooth, fast, reliable, even for big files. I also have some more wishes. It's not things that are bad, but it would be nice if you could have multiple phones could be linked to the PC in super device. I know it's a niche kind of feature request, but it would be really nice to have a dual camera setup with super device on 2 phones and be able to monitor and handle that from your laptop or pad. And then also I really would like to use my MatePad as a secondary display. Having the MateBook and the MatePad as main screen and extended screen would be such a nice combo and a killer mobile setup. Easy to carry with you, and you will have everything you need. That would be amazing. I hope they implement that soon. When it comes to the performance and stability, I think the battery life is amazing. I only charge it basically every other day, even with regular use. I feel like the standby drain is minimal and the charging is fast, so it has 140 watts of charging. Thus far I actually had 0 crashes. I've seen some bugs, but it's been solid and quiet, and I haven't heard a fan once. I assume there is a fan inside here, but I haven't heard it. No, still haven't heard it. So let's talk about the AppGallery and the app support. So the AppGallery itself is kind of nice. I like it more than the Play Store or the iOS store. It's very fast to update apps with the AppGallery, way quicker than other platforms I used. I check the AppGallery daily. I check for in the early access, and I check if there's any new apps released. I do wish that the AppGallery was kind of more available in English, and that would make the discovery easier. But the main problem here is that the apps themselves aren't available or have information in English. So it's not really Huawei's fault here. And of course, there's still a lot of apps missing. And while we don't have any Google or Microsoft apps due to politics, I honestly don't miss them very much. The only thing I use out of those is basically YouTube and Gmail. And for a laptop, I just need a browser. That's fine. I can reach anything. I have my VPN, no problem. I don't need a special developed app for this. So that's not an issue for me. So what about developing on this machine? Well, I haven't done any serious development on this yet. I tested CodeArts for Python. It works fine. I assume it works fine with Java as well. I like to use DevEco Studio directly on the device, but the preview right now is only available for developers that are part of a basically verified company that has some kind of deal with Huawei. So I cannot test it right now. But I usually do most of my development work on my desktop computer. And this laptop I see more as a companion device. So for me it's not an issue, but if you want to use this laptop as your only device, then you might have some issues. But if you see it as a companion device and you have a desktop that you can use, then it's a great device. So would I recommend this? I would recommend this if you are looking for a secondary device for traveling, daily browsing, basic video editing, and working inside maybe the Huawei ecosystem. I would probably not recommend this device if you rely too much on certain Windows and Mac software like Adobe or CAD tools. Those are not here yet. But if you are more flexible, this is honestly one of the best laptops I used. It reminds me of my old Asus I used to have 10 years ago, which ran Linux Mint. It's snappy, it's smooth, and it has a personal feeling. I'm not sure how to explain this, but it feels like it's my friend. If Huawei keeps up the software updates and adds a few more features, this could become my favorite laptop ever. So lastly, for some final thoughts, it's been exciting for me to jump into this HarmonyOS ecosystem, and I'm really curious to see where we go next. If you don't need a laptop to be your only device, this is, I think, a solid laptop and a solid buy. If you're on the fence, maybe you should wait for HarmonyOS NEXT 6.0. I think it will bring some major upgrades, and maybe you should also wait for the apps that you need. So thanks for watching. If you've been using this device too, maybe you should share your experience in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.